So coming off of the end of the previous chapter, we're seeing the end result of Shoto versus Dabi. And as we expected, Shoto is the winner here. So much in fact that it is being announced to the rest of the heroes that Dabi has been defeated. But I don't think that's the end of him in this arc, because going a little further into this chapter, we see this light start to emanate from his chest. And going off of the spoilers yesterday, I didn't really know what to make of this until I was actually able to see the chapter. And I think I might know what's going on here. So also in this chapter, we see like this mild flashback of Dabi and Spinner like talking to All For One, and the implication here is that All For One wanted to give Dabi like an extra quirk, because apparently he could just do that now despite you not being a Nomu. We saw this in the Dark Deku arc when he was able to give Lady Nagant the airwalk quirk on top of her inherent elbow sniper quirk, but Dabi, being Dabi, rejected his offer. But it might not have stopped there, because as we saw with Lady Nagant, not only did she get an extra quirk from All For One, according to Endeavor, he somehow booby-trapped her body, because as soon as she started spilling the beans about All For One to Izuku back in that arc, she suddenly started to explode. So it's possible a similar thing could be going on here with Dabi. Now, before you get upset with me, let me just say that this obviously isn't guaranteed, just taking a guess here. And this raises a few questions, of course, such as like, how did he do this to Dabi? Well, other than us just having to accept that All For One could just do things because he's All For One and he has like 1,000 powers, it's possible that he and Yujiko did this to Dabi like way back when they got him in that secret orphanage hatred vessel place that we saw a couple chapters back in his flashback, because they did do a lot of surgery on him and whatnot, grafting skin and all that stuff. So it's possible they put like some kind of, I don't know, quirk bomb or something in him too. But the other question is, if that is the case, then how does All For One know that he has lost? Because the implications at the end of this chapter, when we see Endeavor receive the notification that Shoto has defeated Dabi, Endeavor like poker faces it, and we're led to believe that All For One doesn't really know what's up at this point. But also this goes back to us just having to accept that All For One can just know and do things that don't necessarily need to be explained, simply because he's just All For One and he is that powerful. But first, let's talk about today's sponsor, and that's Fandomaniacs. So guys, Fandomaniacs is one of my favorite sponsors because they do a good job and they're really easy to work with. So they're a fun and quirky team who are obsessed in creating things that you are obsessed with. They're the perfect place to find apparel and merch based on your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. And you know, since this is a battle anime and manga channel, they have tons of battle anime and manga stuff. So I got this sweet Gojo shirt. I mean, look at this thing. I love it so much. It is so aesthetic. I got this amazing Nakama shirt, which is a great finishing piece to the streetwear of the day. They also have the Demon Slayer Corpse hoodie, which I always thought their uniform was aesthetic. I mean, we got the destroy symbol in the back. I mean, come on, tell me this isn't fire. I also got this pretty aesthetic Ryuk Death shirt. I mean, come on, tell me this isn't iconic for some sweet streetwear. So guys, if you want some of this sweet merch for yourself that I promise is gonna look great on you, check the link in the description and also use code ZONE10 for 10% off. Thanks, guys. Or whatever he did to him just somehow knows what's going on, like the quirk itself or whatever. And this would also be a convenient way for Dabi to just die without him having to sacrifice himself or him having to be imprisoned or whatever. And also this takes more of the blame away from Dabi for the audience, I guess, and puts it onto All For One once again. It's like, oh, Dabi was gonna possibly be redeemed or something, or he was gonna come around, but then All For One killed him, so let's not like him even more than we already do. Now again, not guaranteed, and this maybe isn't a bomb at all, and maybe Dabi is having some kind of quirk awakening here. I'm sure a lot of you want that to happen, and it is possible, but that also would kind of be a cop-out for just Dabi to have this random Phoenix rebirth or whatever, and then he just regrows his skin and then he's Toya again. I mean, I wouldn't hate it, but it would just be like, why? Hey, also guys, if you like my Hero reviews, please subscribe, because I do them every time they're available. So Thanks. But anyway, we're coming to the end of the chapter, and we're going to the All for One versus Endeavor and Hawks' group side of things. And after we get past the moment of Endeavor finding out that Shoto defeated Dabi and, you know, his whole poker face thing and not letting All for One in on what actually happened, All for One gives him, you know, typical All for One rhetoric and ends up saying, that's why you can't win, number one. But then he holds out his hand, and each finger has like an individual quirk on it. But on his ring finger, he's producing fire. Now that's pretty interesting, and to be honest, I have been waiting for All for One to reveal that he has some kind of fire quirk, because it goes back to the classic Dad for One theory, the long-standing controversial theory that is certainly going to upset some people for me just mentioning it, and that is the possibility that All for One has been Izuku's dad this whole time, because in the first episode, Izuku's mom says that his dad has a fire-breathing quirk. Now obviously, All for One is not breathing fire here, it's coming from his ring finger. But if you look at his pinky and his thumb, he's using the goo quirk and the drill spike quirk, which we've seen before. He can kind of just produce them on any part of his body. And as for the goo, I don't know if this is like the gray teleportation goo quirk, but that kind of just comes from anywhere. So it's possible that if he does have this fire quirk, that he kind of just had it come out of his mouth as like a cover. Like, hey, you know, this is just my quirk. I just breathe fire. Don't worry about it. And I've talked about this so many times, and there's multiple reasons why he could be Izuku's dad. Like, we see that his mask is like reminiscent of Darth Vader, and the big iconic twist in Star Wars was that Darth Vader was Luke's father, and we know that Horikoshi is like a big Star Wars fan and he is inspired by it, but also the fact that Izuku's dad, you know, has never been revealed, not even close to being revealed, and he's never talked about at all. And we are coming to the end of the series, so it's like, where is he? Why has he been gone this whole time? Did his dad conveniently just disappear because he was like defeated by All Might and he had his face turned into a potato, so he couldn't really show up anymore, especially because he was like on a respirator? But then of course it goes back to like, why did he hook up with Inko and make Izuku? Well, it could have something to do with quirk manipulation and quirk duplication. Let us not forget that Yujiko was in the very first episode showing him the pinky toe x-ray and telling him that he doesn't have a quirk. Was that a lie this whole time? Did he actually have a quirk and he took it from him because this is like All for One's big child quirk harvesting ring that Yujiko was in on in the hospital? And he showed him a fake x-ray because that's certainly something that would be in his wheelhouse, right? Now, just like with the Dabi stuff, I'm not saying this is guaranteed, and to be honest, I'm not really married to this theory, but I do think it would be pretty cool if it came true. But if it's not true, and Izuku's dad is just some random dude, that's fine too, I guess. So let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys, and if you liked the video, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, I'll see you in the next one.